guys, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 9:25 a.m.
So, hi guys. I've just read or listened to my mum's answer phone message, and she told me that she enjoyed my company yesterday. She enjoyed seeing me, and I'm obviously going to see my mum next Tuesday, and she said, have a good day. After I listened to the answer phone message, guess what? Dogs barking. No one is going to upset me today because I'm not going to let them. I know I look good for my age. I know I'm happy with myself. That is all that matters, and that's all I'm going to say on the subject. I'm going to put the radio on while I go and make myself another cup of coffee. Alexa, can you put LBC radio on?
LBC London from Global Player.
Sure, right.
And she has meningitis.
Oh, Christ.
But the point I want to make, I mean,
Thank God they got her to the hospital
well,
in time.
she's doing quite well. They're just waiting for the blood test. But my granddaughter was so upset about the hospital. It was teeming with sick children,
Right.
lying in the corridors, and you know, I really don't know what's going on. And this is my last message to Rishi Sunak.
Okay. How many have you sent him, by the way?
Pardon?
How many have you sent him if this is your last one?
Well, I'm always on Facebook. If it gets really...
Come on, what do you want to tell Rishi?
You know, but just
Come
what
on.
I want to say is,
Go on.
he will never ever know what it's like to get an ambulance or to have, you know, he's got the money to pay for everything.
Well,
That's what upsets, I think that's what upsets people.
I hear what you say. I mean, God forbid, if one of his children was to fall ill, then of course he'd have to get an ambulance. Let's not wish that on anyone. But I do hear what you say, in that he obviously can provide access to private healthcare. But if one of his kids falls off a ladder or something and breaks a leg, they're going to need an ambulance for that. Well, of course they would have a police Range Rover now. Jean, thank you. Should we look at other stories? We will return to this. Have you taken up vaping? Well, if not, if you are, you're not alone. Smoking in the country has fallen to the lowest level on record. Millions of you are taking up vaping. There are 6.6 million tobacco smokers still. That's a good number. It's a huge number. Surprising. While 4 million use e-cigarettes, says the Office for National Statistics. Oh boy, there's a whole slew of figures here. How can I break this down to you? Okay, here's the most important one. The percentage of the population who smoked for the figures of last year is 13.3%, and it's been declining since the 70s, when it was high 40s. Wow. Dr. Aaron Scott is Associate Professor in Respiratory Science at the University of Birmingham. Is this a win-win-win story, or should we still have concerns about vaping? Professor, good morning.
Good morning. This is definitely good news. Any reduction in the number of smokers we have in the UK is definitely a win. And I would say that if that was because of an increase in vaping, then I don't see that as a bad thing. What we need to concern ourselves with is if people are vaping continuously longer term, because we don't know what the longer term effects of e-cigarettes are. If that's the only way that you can get off tobacco smoking, then that's what you should do. If that is the main thing that will work for you, then that is what you should do. Then you should consider trying to get off e-cigarettes, wean yourself off of them.
Do you know, you've almost anticipated my next question, Professor, because I wonder how you'd react if one of your sons or daughters, or son and daughter, or niece or nephew said, hey, I've just started this vaping. How would you feel?
And that is a very important point, because the figure seems to suggest that we don't have many people who weren't smokers before taking up vaping, but that is still increasing, and it's a very small number now, but those things build over time, and as it become more popular with younger people who would maybe never have smoked, of course we don't know that, but they may never have smoked, but it's a lower bar to get over to be a vapor than it is to be a smoker.
But how concerned should we be, Professor, that in some instances, I know these vapes, if that's the correct word, are offered in cherry or strawberry or melon flavours. That's not going to attract someone who's doing 20 Rothmans or Players a day, is it? Or senior service, if they still exist.
Exactly. They come in very, very attractive range of flavors, and I'm sure you've smelled
Yeah, I have.
the flavors of the clouds of vape passing in the streets, and that does make it much more attractive to the younger demographics, and I think that is the main concern for an ex-smoker to take up vaping. Even if they continue vaping and don't give up the vaping, it's still a reduction in harm. But if you were never a smoker, you should definitely not vape. And if it were my child, I would be trying to stop them from vaping, because we don't know what the long-term health effects are. My research has shown that they're...
Stop. Well, one of my son vapes, and he smoked in the past, and he took up vaping. My other son doesn't smoke at all because he takes after me and his dad. We've never smoked. I've tried smoking twice and didn't get on with it. So very briefly, we're talking about weeks and not years. I did try it twice when I was younger, but can't get on with it. So I don't smoke. I don't vape, and I drink socially. So I've often said that things that are bad for you are in attractive packages. Vapes are, like he was saying, different nice smelling vapours, which would appeal, I think, to women more than men, because women burn candles, they get air fresheners and spray the room with air fresheners. So when you smell these smells, it's appealing. But sweets are in bright packaging, in bright colours. Skittles, everything that's bad for you is like really bright and packaged, in bright colours, and people are attracted to pretty things, aren't they? Especially, I would say a lot of women are attracted to bright colours, and kids. But any form of smoking is bad for you. I would imagine, in 10-20 years we'll find out the effects of vaping, and is it just as bad as smoking, or is it worse? We don't know. As the use of mobile phones, because that was mobile phones, the early 2000s? We're only in 2022. We don't know the effects of long-term use of mobile phones is having on the younger generation, do we? Because young kids of 5 and 6 and 7 are being given a mobile phone for Christmas and their birthday. It's a good way for a parent to just carry on doing everything and leaving a child with a mobile phone. When my children grew up, they didn't have mobile phones. They were more interested, I don't know if you remember, in the trainers. They wanted expensive trainers back in the day. Parents couldn't afford expensive trainers, and children got taken the mickey out of if they didn't have the latest trainers. Now it's phones and like games and gadgets. But there were no phones when my kids were growing up, no mobiles. There was the Nintendo DS, if anyone remembers the little portable Nintendo DS coming out. And PlayStation's always been about, the first PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, now the PlayStation, whatever it is, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was like computer games, wasn't it? Computer games and trainers. Now it's mobile phones. You've got to have the latest mobile phone, and every couple of months there's a mobile phone coming out, and everyone wants the new one. And you can't keep up with it. But most people nowadays are strapped to their mobile phone all day. Whether they're at work, school, in their car, there's a mobile phone somewhere. So we're not talking to people so much, we're on our mobile phones. We're talking to people on text messages. Even if they live down the road, you're on the phone, aren't you? You're on the phone, you're texting and you're talking, even though your mate's down the road. And we don't know the effects of doing that. The long-term use of using a mobile phone day after day and not giving it a rest, especially on the eyesight, children's eyesight. Because it's so easy for a parent to say, so-and-so, sit down there, and they've got their mobile phone and they're just on it. Years ago, you took your kids for a walk. You took them out for the day. You took them for a walk. I did, even in cold weather. And they enjoyed it, putting their hats, their coats, their boots and that, and going for a walk in the park, going for a walk around the block, even going to the shop. Right? And they weren't stuck indoors all day, strapped to computer games and phones back then. And there was board games, you know, snakes and ladders, Ludo, Cluedo, Scrabble, Monopoly, Kerplunk. Does anyone remember Kerplunk with the marbles and the sticks? Kerplunk, Frustration, all those kind of board games, even chess and dominoes. I love dominoes, and you know, I think me and my kids once got some coloured dominoes and put them all around the floor, and just you tap one and the whole of them get knocked over. And you put them in shapes, don't you, circles and squares, tap the domino and it goes all around. Even Lego, building Lego houses, Lego men, firemen, you know, police cars with Lego. It's all gone. That's all gone. But everyone loved Monopoly, and my favourite was Scrabble. I do love Scrabble. You can get that on computer now, phone game, Scrabble. It's all gone. It's a phone in your face. You walk past somebody, they've got a phone in their hand, a phone to their ear, and they go into shops with their mobile phones and they talk on their phones while they're going into the shop. There's no personal contact anymore because most people are strapped to a phone. And that is what the problem is. Years ago, you had to talk to each other. You had to talk to an assistant in a shop. You had to talk to your kids, and you had to play with them properly. You sit down and you play games and you talk to your kids. Now they're all on phones. Kids are. It's waste. It's waste, and God knows what the future holds, Nick. You know what I mean? I'm glad I grew up when I did. I'm glad at the age I am now, because the future for me is bleak. It's very bleak for young people. And my gas has gone off again. My gas, I put £35 on the gas last Thursday. It's all gone. I've got to put the emergency credit on. It's all gone. That £35 is gone. And that hasn't even been a week. I put that on Thursday. It's not even Thursday. So in 6 days the gas has gone out, and I haven't put the heating on every day either. I haven't. I've had a shower twice and put the electric on for about 10-15 minutes in the morning and evening, and that 35 quid has blown out. And MPs and the Royals just don't know what it's like to be poor. They just don't know. See you later.